Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy, Nate Weitzer, on the East Coast. We are going ahead and looking at Game 4, Clippers and the Jazz, seeing if the Clips can tie things up before they head back to Utah, see what is up with Kawhi and PG if they have it left in another big game for them after a really nice game for them in Game 3. Everything went exactly as I would imagine they wanted it to. Still, if you need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find all those local listings in your area. And make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page. Jump in the comments. We have a gift card opportunity here for you. Let us know what you think the point total will be for Kawhi Leonard and Donovan Mitchell combined there. Jump in the comments. As mentioned, you do need to be liked and subscribed to the page to be eligible for that gift card. But let us know what you think the combined point total of those two stars will be to be able to get that gift card for you guys. Nate, let's just go ahead and jump into everything Game 4.
Yeah, the Clippers are -5 right now after that big win. And the Jazz plus 175 on the money line to pull out a road win. Total is at 223.5. And the big news is that Donovan Mitchell re-aggravated that ankle injury for the second straight game. Ended a little bit hobbled. But I believe when he says that it's not really a big issue. It was just something where they were down 15 points at that point, and he had no reason to risk it. I think he will come out and continue his torrid pace, which has been really incredible to watch. Maybe not as much as some of the hyperbole in the media. I think I just heard Stephen A. Smith say he's the third greatest scorer of all time after Wilt and Michael Jordan. So, I mean, we pumped the brakes a little bit, but the point is he will still get his points in this series. And his total is just around 30 points. I would look at alternate lines actually for him to get up over 34 or 35 and get plus odds there. I mean, the guy has 75 points in games 1 and 3, despite just really rough starts. I mean, he went scoreless in the first quarter of this one and then still wound up with 30 after, even though he left in the middle of the fourth with an injury. So that's just a side note on the reliability of Donovan Mitchell. But I don't know how reliable the Jazz are going to be on the road in this series. I think this might be a situation, Josh, where we see it go 7 games with the home team winning each one. And it's not because the Clippers have some sort of great home court advantage and the Jazz are putrid on the road. It's just that the Jazz are that much more elevated in Salt Lake. The way that arena is positioned now, it's probably the best home court advantage we have here in the pandemic's affected season.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the Clippers, and they have the second best offensive rating at home in these playoffs after Boston, which only played two games at home. I'm looking at them getting over 114.5 points. I'm looking at Kawhi getting 30 points in a win, plus 200 on FanDuel there. And I'm looking at the potential for Clippers to win on the money line and get this game over because I think Mitchell will keep the Jazz at pace, and I think we'll go over 223. But I do see this going back to Utah tied 2-2.
Yeah, I like starting with Kawhi from the standpoint of, his points prop, first of all, 28.5 points. I do like that. I think we can see another 30-point game from him. It'll be interesting to see if the Jazz make an adjustment to the adjustment that Kawhi specifically made going into Game 3, where he stopped trying to go to the rim, where he had an awful percentage in the restricted area once Rudy Gobert came to meet him. So now he's pulling up, and he took a bunch more mid-range shots, a bunch more shots that were sort of, in his bag, just doing what he needs to do with the defender, whether he's backing him down from around the free throw line or extended, or just really, facing up to the basket, taking 2 hard dribbles against somebody who's smaller than him, pulling up from about 15 feet. And obviously then really got running into the transition game there, as he had a few really nice steals, as the Clippers themselves had about 6 steals in that first half that were really, really nice, leading to some fast break points, which I think is actually key for them. They are the team that likes to slow it down, even though they, are one of the best offensive teams in the league, especially because of how many threes they often make. They do like to slow it down a lot more than the Jazz do. And still, I think to your point, when they're at home and the environment is a little bit less insane the way that it is in Utah, they're fine with ramping up their defense, forcing the Jazz, who, without Mike Conley or even a hobble Mike Conley, they're a lot more limited in the backcourt in terms of ball handlers. I mean, I understand Jordan Clarkson can do what he does, but he's been a little bit unconscious, and he's not exactly a ball handler as much as he is someone who will just try to take you off the dribble with his quickness. But that's not exactly how the Jazz set up their offense when they need someone like Mike Conley, who proved this year why he was worth his merit in that pickup, because of his ability to sort of bring things to a halt with the offense when it's needed. They don't have that right now, so there's not as much fluidity. We'll see what's up with Donovan. I'm a little bit scared of him continuing to retweak it. But at any rate, like the 30 points for me, I still feel comfortable enough with that. It is ambitious to go with that 34, but I know that you can get about double your money on that one. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers defense is also bears worth talking about, because in game 2, they went to that zone. They erased the deficit. And as predicted, in game 3, they went with that a lot more. They forced the Jazz into 16 turnovers, and they forced them into 17 for 40 shooting on twos. So getting them kind of in those awkward areas, living with some of the threes that the Jazz were able to generate. But I think that they just got them off schedule, and that led to, sparking some of those turnovers that turned D into O, as you mentioned. And we're looking at a Utah team that just gave up 19 for 36 shooting on the other end, from the 3-point line. It's a make or miss lead, Josh, and I think that the Clippers are going to be getting better looks as long as we're in Staples Center. And so, yeah, just sticking with my thoughts on that, and Reggie Jackson being a big part of the open looks that they get, going over 14.5 points. And the Clippers getting over their team total, which is 114.5 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm with it. I think, one other thing, that we kind of speak about when it comes to playoff P and Paul George, that is, I know we wanted to mention that briefly, so I'll bring it up, but he continues to not be able to hit his point totals, his rebound totals, his assist totals, and all those things combined. He's been, having some nice games with some nice assists when guys are hitting shots off of him, but to me, Nate, I mean, he looks scared. He still looks tentative in a way. There was a moment in game 2 where, they were trying to crawl back. Kawhi's nowhere near him dribbling the ball. Playoff P's in the corner, really like pretending like he's looking for the ball, trying to spot up for it. But it's like, you're so far away, dude. You're not getting the ball. It seems like you're sort of crawling away. So look, he got going in game 3 for a bit with 3-pointers. So you might think to target those, because he is going to keep pulling, as I think he's also pretty scared, rightly so, of getting into the lane with Rudy, where he's also got a really, really bad percentage shooting and really close to the basket. So I don't know. I'm gonna stay away from anything in terms of the overs with him. I might look to the under 25.5 points for PG, but what are you thinking with him specifically?
Yeah, and under 39.5 points, rebounds, assists is really the key for me there, because even with those 31 points, which was, an anomaly in terms of how he had been shooting in this series and in the playoffs, he still only got 39 combined with those rebounds and assists. I just don't think the peripheral stats will be there for George to get to 40 combined on those.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. So anyway, make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page, y'all. The gift card opportunity is the combined point total of Donovan Mitchell and Kawhi Leonard in game 4. We'll be looking at the comments, seeing what you guys are thinking for this game, and back with you for another one as these playoffs roll on. And until then, though, happy betting.